Oh yeah, can I get some? Are we
Oi.
going to plug it or no sponsors?
Huh?
Are we going to plug it or no sponsors?
Yeah, we'll plug it.
Are they going to give us free samples?
What's this?
Of course.
What's this?
This is Amara perfumes.
I like the bottle.
It smells
Find them
really
at
nice.
the night markets.
Yeah.
Oh,
Shout out OT.
That's like a Dior Sauvage.
Yeah, I need to go get some.
Boom.
That's what we're going
Oh, these
out.
ones.
That's,
Sorry, I watched the makeup girls. On
Yeah,
YouTube.
go.
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Make sure you get it in there. We are
Remember
rocking...
to do influencer hands.
Yeah. What are we rocking today, Kev?
Not having a seizure, just...
Just influencer hands.
Today we're... I'm dyslexic.
Immensity.
Immensity. We are rocking Immensity and an immense
From
amount
Amara.
of it from Amara. So,
Amara.
Shout out the boys at Amara.
Yeah. Thanks. Cool.
Yeah, cool.
So,
Good morning.
good morning.
We're back.
Morning, gents.
It
Welcome back.
actually has been a good morning. Great morning.
What do we do?
Pickleball!
Pickleball.
Back from pickleball.
Yeah.
After
Smashed a few
commanding
games
win,
out.
Smashed a few elderly
good.
citizens.
Yeah.
Yeah. In
Yeah.
pickleball.
We really
You
ganged up
found
on
like
the
a new
oldies
passion
today.
for it, like, yeah.
I love it. So, the issue with pickleball previously
We like
was...
all go as a group.
Yeah.
You get really competitive.
Somewhat competitive.
Like, I feel like we all get pretty competitive.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Everyone
Yeah.
gets locked in, but this is the thing. Like, if we're all playing against each other and we start smashing each other, someone goes away not feeling great.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're the losers.
yeah.
Them, the people we beat today.
The loser says something to the winner, and then that's not nice, and they walk around.
Oh, yeah.
Which may potentially happen, but it's all water under
We
the
don't
bridge.
do that
It's all on
anymore.
the, yeah, it's all on the bridge.
Life hack today, I found, I just versed the other people that were there, smashed them, and I just got to leave with my friends all on good terms.
You haven't
But
broken any
They
friendships.
are weapons, hey. Like, it was
Yeah.
not an easy win. Like, they were very good at it. It was so funny. They rocked up and they're like, oh, have you played many games? Like, oh, like, I think I've been twice. This is Ben's, like, second time. So they, like, had a little grin. I was like, wipe that grin off your mouth. Otherwise, So, yeah, it was on site. But, no, really, really good. New obsession.
New obsession. Huge in the States.
Massive.
Now coming
Yeah.
over to Australia.
Yeah.
And for those of you who don't know what pickleball is, it's like a mix between tennis
And table
and
tennis.
Table
probably
tennis,
table
yeah.
tennis. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a smaller than tennis court.
Yeah.
And
ball,
and the
paddles.
the ball is not the ball is just hollow
Yeah.
and it's got all these holes in it, so
Yeah.
it floats.
Yeah, it's called a wiffle ball.
Oh, wiffle ball.
Wiffle ball.
Okay,
Wiffle
that's
ball.
fun. And then the paddle, it's not a racket.
No,
it's
no.
not
Paddle call.
strings. It's just a
Paddle.
high paddle.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it makes for a lot of good rallies
We're
when
early
you may not know how to
adopters.
do it. Yeah.
Early adopters were carrying on our back here in Cairns. So
Yeah. That's
So,
good.
yeah, we'll
a lot
keep
of fun.
running that.
And the sun's finally come out for us.
Oh,
Yeah,
it is
it's good.
beautiful.
I want to go to the
morning.
beach, I think, today.
we went to the Rubens last night.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
nice.
Absolutely started raining like halfway through.
Yeah, but
Oh.
it would just add to the vibe.
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
But the rain on the way there and the way back was not a vibe.
Yeah.
It was like not trying to drive off the edge.
It was,
like
it
you
was
were driving.
pretty
At
interesting
Port
event,
Douglas,
right?
Ski at Port
Yeah.
Douglas.
Yeah, it was like at the
yacht
back
club.
of the yacht club. And it was like in their back area, out on the grass. Such a
It's
random
like
group
OG
of people.
grass is greener vibes.
Yeah. Like,
Oh,
I like
weird.
Fogarty Park.
like
Yeah,
OG
yeah.
gig sort of vibes.
Yeah.
Like they just got like a tiny little stage set up. You've got like people everywhere. Some
Yeah.
really like intense people. Hey,
Interesting characters.
Yeah,
That's
interesting
cool.
characters.
It was so funny because like the whole time driving there I was so angry. I was like, why are they putting in Port Douglas? Like it doesn't make sense. Like why are we driving? And then halfway through the concert, like the penny dropped. I was like, oh, this place has been pretty devastated with the rain and the floods and stuff like that, bringing a lot of money into the area and a lot of like attention. Obviously, everyone from Cairns was coming up to see it.
Right.
So it was
Yeah.
a really, really good move for Port Douglas. Like it would have stimulated the little local economy.
Oh, that's
fun.
really well. But yeah, no, it was awesome. It was so funny. They like I was telling Ben before, you know how like it's so typical of like any gig where they're like, all right, we're all done now. And they're walking up
yeah,
the
this
stage
part, yeah.
before they played like their main songs, and they're like the way the stage was situated, like the water was behind them, and then to enter and exit, they had to go through the crowd, like the way the venue was set up. So like they had to sneak through the crowd to get on the stage, and like everyone was kind of low key. They just
Yeah.
thought like some assholes were pushing through the stage to the front. Anyway, and then they're like. After their last song, they're like, all right, well, this is normally where we pretend to get off the stage and not play our last two songs, but we have nowhere to go, so here you go. And then started playing.
They're like, this is our last two songs, so
Yeah.
enjoy.
Yeah, and then we're off. And this is a classic Australian style. The audience was screaming at them to do a shoey, and he's like, "You want me to do a shoey? You want me to do a shoey?" And they just started playing the next song. We're
It's
not
been
having it.
done.
He was like
Yeah.
looking back at everyone like to start like
Yeah. And he's like, no, don't want to do it.
Love
So
that.
no, yeah, good gig vibes. Just really into like the local music scene and like the indie
Live
music and
music.
stuff.
Big into live music.
Yeah. Did you not go, Ben? Not keen on that one, or
No, I didn't go.
No.
I didn't go.
not a fan of supporting live music, or
No, big fan of supporting live music.
Okay, cool.
Just not a fan of going to Port Douglas on a Friday night in the rain for a gig.
Yeah, fair. We were
It's the
tossing up
adventure. It's
about
the
it.
adventure.
It was the adventure. Maybe I should have gone.
We almost got scammed trying to get Beerling a ticket
Oh
as
man,
well too.
I was like trying to warn you guys, like that's a
Yeah.
scam.
Yeah. I posted on the page, I was like, oh, any spare tickets, like swing
And
them
they
our
just
way.
swarmed you. Like,
had,
you just got like
Yeah.
20
I was
comments.
on the
like,
phone to Brody while in the shower. I was like, bro, I just got like 10 people message me. This is all good, secured. And they all sent the exact same message. I was
Yeah.
like, I'm going to get scammed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, send it, like, get them to send it through Tixel.
Yeah.
And like, they're like, oh, wait, let me just log into my Tixel account.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, I can't, I forgot the password.
Yeah.
Can you just pay through here? And
Yeah.
we're like, no, like, this is obviously.
And the one person we thought, I'm like, nah, this person's legit. We like buggered her off and we're driving like to see us
Yeah.
leave. And then she sends the dodgiest Photoshop
it was
job
like
of the ticket.
Photoshop
Oh,
of the ticket.
really?
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
But it was like,
Photoshop
but
of the
I
ticket.
photoshopped better than that. Like,
wow.
terrible.
So pro tip, make sure you look at their profile. If they live in New Jersey,
Yeah.
they're obviously
No
fake.
bueno.
If they only have photos from like 2 days ago,
Yeah.
they're probably fake.
Yeah.
Like,
or like 4 likes.
4
Yeah,
likes on
it's
every
no
other
good.
photo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm an
Get
idiot. I
scammed.
almost bought tickets to Boy and Bear off a lady in France. And I should have realised that.
Wow.
How could she be going to this gig?
Oh,
She's
she
in
must be
France.
traveling.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, that's right. She bought it. What tickets
She's
to
like,
a
I
gig.
thought it was in France, not
Another
Cairns.
country.
My bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, so almost got scammed
Happens to the
there
best
too.
of us.
No, we've actually got San Cisco next week.
we do.
Yeah.
We're
That'd be
running it
fun.
back on
Thursday night.
Thursday
Run
night.
it back. Man, you really are the live music king now, Cam, aren't you?
We're supporting the
You-
gigs.
Oh, you just love gigs and
Yeah.
supporting live music.
I love the,
The
band. San
Vans.
Francisco. Shit.
San Francisco.
Get them all confused. Jungle
The Bennies,
Dance.
the
who?
Bennies as well. Oh, shout out the Bennies.
Oh, did
Yeah, up and
who
coming.
was the support for Rubens?
I forgot what his.
well,
forgot what
okay.
his actually,
Yeah.
funniest thing though.
Yeah.
the-
He was walking off the stage. He just finished performing. He was walking through the crowd. And everyone was like, "Oh, good job, good job." And like he kind of walks past because Brody and I standing in the stairs. I was like, "What did I say?" I was like, awesome
like, "Oh,
set,
really
man.
great
Yeah,
gig,
really
yeah,
good
yeah."
set, man. Great work." And he just walked straight past me.
Oh no.
And I was like, "I will go myself."
Oh,
But
no.
he was like really good.
Yeah,
Obviously,
he was amazing. And he had
Incredible.
like 6 hippies up the front, like really into it. Like,
I was just
Totally
impressed because like
dancing.
he was. I feel like he was playing guitar and then
Yeah.
he had a beat pad as well.
yeah.
And obviously singing.
That's
Yeah.
pretty sick.
And I was like, far out, this dude is sick.
Yeah.
So shout out,
Him.
insert him.
Yeah. We'll
I'll
bleep it over,
overdub
but
it.
yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
overdub it. I'm really that good at production. I'll overdub his
guy.
name.
We were talking about this also too. You know, on the topic of not being able to remember people's names. Do you have any like tips or tricks? Because we were saying,
Start repeating it as soon as you hear it.
Is it calling you out? You can cut it out. But you were saying like obviously Brody being on the CYC panel when people come to events having to like check people in.
Oh, yeah,
And
yeah,
you're like,
yeah.
oh hey Brody, how you going? And you're like, hey man.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
do you spell your last name?
Yeah.
It's like, it happened so many times, like when I was on CYC, because I was doing the front check-in, and I just want to do that because like I feel like you get to sort of meet everyone
Yeah.
first of all when they come in, but then again they come the next time, like the next month, and I'm like, what was your name again? Like,
You know, I've just realised
Yeah.
the thing around that is like, you know, when you go to the event and they're like, oh, yeah, just find your name tag on the thing.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you
yeah.
take that and then you put it on. They're like, yep, okay, and then cross it off. And you put name badges somewhere else too. 'Cause you don't want to be staring at someone's chest the whole time you're having a conversation trying to remember their name.
Yeah,
Can we put
yeah.
name badges on forehead? Can we start that as a trend?
I think we just need to remember names.
Yeah.
But I'm terrible at it.
really bad at it
yeah.
too.
I try to do like a word association.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like if it's Cam, I'll be like ham.
Oh,
Yeah.
this fat, let's call him
Yeah,
Ham.
he's a bit of a pig,
Yeah.
and then that's Cam. Yeah, well, not quite that brutal on the word association, but
Yeah,
I
yeah.
try to do word
I
association.
get you, yeah.
yeah.
What,
I
are,
feel-
what are our word associations, Ben?
Yeah.
No, I just remembered you. You were OGs.
Yeah.
I just
But
remember.
it's like
you
the
guys.
teachers, you know how they only remember the really good kids and the really bad,
Bad
kids,
ones,
and you
yeah.
don't know which one you are.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
feel
it's pretty obvious which one's
Yeah.
Bebo.
Now everyone's big dog. Tiger Woods, a big
Yeah.
dog.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just say mate a lot. Like
Hey,
that's
mate,
it.
yeah.
Bro, you see that photo
Um,
of him about to dap someone up and you can hear it through the screen?
Yeah.
It's like music to my ears.
I feel like it's so easy to forget as well, like straight away. And then I feel like I start questioning because I feel like I do kind of remember it.
Yeah.
And I'm questioning if that's their name. I'm like, wait,
Yeah.
was that their name? And I don't want to say it now.
Yeah.
Because then if I do mess it up, it's going to go like 0 to 100.
We just need to
And
have
then
that
like,
person like that just walks into the group when you're talking with someone. and
Oh,
just,
yeah.
Like, so you can introduce them to
wait,
hear
so
their name again.
that was the tip. It was
Yeah.
like, because like Mira was saying hello to someone like weeks ago. And I just came up like out of nowhere and I was like, oh, hey, like I'm Brody. And then she's like, oh, hey, I'm so-and-so. And she, like Mira hadn't remembered that girl's name.
Yeah.
And we're like, okay, cool. That's like the plan. Like just if someone, you needed like a signal just
to
remember someone's name.
Turn into networking tips 101.
I'm sure we've done that in like 3 other episodes.
Yeah.
But it's the literal worst feeling. So I just, the old classic, hey mate. Oh, hey mate, how you been?
Mate.
So good to see you.
Hey, mate.
What if it's oh, hey love? That sounds degrading. Not
If
degrading,
you're in
not just,
America, like
demeaning.
we say mate as Aussies.
Yeah.
So if you're American and you can't remember someone's name, what are you saying? Because are they saying mate? They're
Actually,
not
I
saying
got
mate.
called on this when I started at
Hey, bud.
in my job, like recruitment.
Hey champ. Maybe
Yeah,
champ.
I was calling people. I was like, "Oh, hey mate, how you doing today?" And it's like not like super professional because you haven't really developed a relationship with them
Interesting.
in a professional context. Like, would you call a client mate?
Yeah.
No,
You
no.
would.
I do.
Yeah,
No,
you would.
I don't.
Hello.
Oh,
Salutations, good sir.
No, not really.
No.
I'll
Just by
text
their
and
name.
like I'll be on the phone and be like, oh, hey, mate.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess like I'm just best friends with a lot of
Yeah.
clients.
What do you do for work again? Another episode coming
Nothing.
soon.
Disgusting.
Tease it, tease it.
That one unemployed
circle back to
friend on a
that.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
Coming soon, the Brody episode. Long awaited.
That's it.
Okay.
So, what are we
highly
diving in?
requested.
Oh,
Yeah.
Money
people
episode
loved it.
too.
I actually got some
Yeah,
comments.
Yeah.
Which was
a
lovely.
lot of people loved it,
lot of people
knowing that
loved
like
it.
you just confirmed everything that they
Free
thought.
financial advice. Of course, people are gonna love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, it was. I'm
Yeah.
just like, oh no, please don't say that word advice.
Yeah.
I didn't technically give
Yeah.
advice. Please.
We got all the
It's
way
like,
to the
I
end.
had great
Yeah.
financial advice on the thing.
Yeah.
And then someone said, oh, I'm gonna invest now. I'm just like, oh,
Oh.
okay, okay. I said, yeah, let's just let's
have
just
a-
maybe catch up.
Yeah, like
I'll send
come
you an
on, like
invoice.
Because I
just-
can't remember exactly what I said.
Do we
we
just send
got
an
to the- go, sorry.
invoice? Do we just send an invoice to everyone that listens to that episode?
No, then I'm really in strife.
But the money.
But the money, yeah. So what do we? So get rich or one of my best,
trying.
honestly, one of my best episode titles. Get rich in brackets with investing or die trying. In the spirit of rap beef happening in the world at the moment, I thought I'd
Facts.
throw the 50 Cent line down, album title. Get rich or die trying, part 1.
Yeah.
And in that we talked about, we
yeah.
covered off on Barefoot Investor.
Yeah.
We covered off
Investing.
on compounding, ETFs, dollar cost averaging versus lump sum investing, having emergency savings, and reading the psychology of money. So that's all, I think, on reflection, that's all good. That's a good start.
Yeah.
But it's not technically giving you advice on how to actually go about it now.
Yeah.
So now that you have the
Wait,
knowledge.
So yeah, it's like more advice. Like,
Yeah,
it's
now,
like
so
how
now I'm
to
giving
actually
more advice.
do it.
Now I'm doubling
So like,
down.
that was like the beginners. This will be the intermediate.
I think so. I
Yeah.
think so. So I
This
have
is how you buy an NFT. This is how
I have a
you-
fair idea as to how
You
we
want to
should
structure
probably
it?
go for part 2.
Sure.
Because I just did a rundown for a client yesterday, and it's the stuff like you can have information overload. It's like drinking from a fire hose with
Yeah.
financial stuff online, right? The thing that I don't see online that I think is the most important, you'll probably read about it in like Psychology of Money and everything like that, but it's being able to start your investing journey, which is the hardest part, because you can research ETFs and you can research what platform to buy it on and all that nonsense. But where everybody falls apart is they think, oh, well, I'll just chuck my $1,000 into it and then I'll just leave
and
it,
forget it,
and
yeah.
I'll set and forget.
Diamond hands, baby.
Returns, it's important to understand a couple concepts here, that returns are only one piece of the puzzle. Like the percentage return, that's only one piece of the puzzle for investing.
Yeah.
I think what's actually most important is the psychology and discipline behind doing it. Now, I think I'll talk about something called the pay yourself first mentality, or the reverse budget. I'm not sure if
Yeah.
I've ever discussed it
He
with
did
you,
on the
with
panel.
you gents.
the
Yeah.
reverse
I
budget,
might have done it
think.
on the panel. Was that the
Yeah.
CYC panel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
So
idea.
that was, again, I still sell that to clients these
Yeah.
days. I think it's the best piece of advice I can give. And so the way it goes is that if you normally have your budget, if you don't do a budget, you understand the concept of a budget. Money, your net pay goes into your bank account once a month, once a fortnight, whatever it is, right? Yeah. And so everyone then goes, well, the money goes into the bank account, and then all your direct debits or whatever you have will flow out after. You might pay your rent on direct debit, your power, your car insurance, whatever. Everything goes out, and then what you're left with is technically what you'd call savings, right? Yeah. But is there ever really the savings there? They don't really exist because once you've paid everything out, there's a level of comfort your brain sets into.
Yeah.
And if that is somehow connected to your debit card, for instance, the money just disappears, right? And so you may think, oh, I'm doing well, I'm spending less than what I earn.
Yeah.
But then at the end of the year, if you didn't have an investment goal, the odds of you having the money at the end of 31 December to go, okay, now I've got technically I've been saving each month, I've got my savings ready to go, I'm going to invest this savings. That happens 0% of the time. It just never happens. And the money is never there because the money will likely go on a holiday or you'll justify it to yourself that, oh, 3.5 grand's been building up in the account. I'm more inclined to go on that trip or I'm more inclined to spend it now. So where the actual magic is in investing, it's prioritizing the regular investment through dollar cost averaging, just as important as rent or your mortgage repayment. So why we call it the pay yourself first or the reverse budget concept is because instead of thinking of investing as the bottom line, as your savings line, you now have to take that savings, that imaginary savings, but you put it up into the expense line where your rent and everything else is direct debited out of. So what we're doing is we're actually putting investing on autopilot and prioritizing it just as much as rent. So each month, say your pay goes in, it's $4,000.
$10,000.
$10,000 per okay.
Just an easy round number. I probably shouldn't be exposing my finances on the podcast.
How about $1,000? Okay. So if you have a goal, firstly you have to set a goal with investing. You can't just say, oh, I'm going to research the best ETF, chuck $1,000 and chuck some change in and then hope for the best. No, that is not how you build wealth. To build wealth, you set yourself a goal. And let's not do anything crazy. Let's break it down. If you can afford $100 a week to go into an investment, let's start there. Because $100 a week is going to be $5,200 a year. Whereas if you left it till the end of the year and I came to you and said, where's that $5,200? It won't exist. So break it down into manageable pieces. So what you do is you found your ETF or you found your platform that you want to invest in. You set up a direct debit. Again, this is how some people could do it. It's not advice. I would set up a direct debit from the investment platform to draw out the $100 from my bank account every single week. At the end of the year, I know that even if the market has gone up or the market's gone down, I know that I have prioritized a disciplined savings thing that has gone into an investment. Over 3 to 6 months, trust me, you will learn to live without the money and you will just get used to it as if it's nothing. The good part about that is you've just basically hacked your brain for life and everything else is going to be easy from here because the magic is putting things on autopilot. And this is what I tell everybody. The investing journey, I don't want you to have to think once a week, I need to transfer $200 to my investment portfolio. That ain't going to work. Weeks will go by and you'll forget to do it. If you create a direct debit, that's 80% of the battle. Okay, so that is probably the biggest secret to investing that I can impart. It's the one that actually works because at the end of the year, you can actually say definitively, you may not feel wealthier, but you can definitively log into your platform online and go, whoa, I've actually got $5,200 in the account. I have actually created wealth for myself. I am technically on paper wealthier than I was 12 months ago. And everyone falls into the same lifestyle creep, fallacy, right? You get that pay rise, you don't feel any wealthier. If I reflect back on my time when I first started and my starting salary was $47,000 when I was an accountant compared to what I am on now.
$200,000.
I don't technically feel any wealthier. Even though I've had all these pay rises throughout the years, I was pretty bloody happy back on $47,000. So why aren't I suppose, comparatively much happier on my X salary now? But yes, hands up. Yeah, Cam, you put your hand up, like as if this is a class.
No,
go for it.
Can I jump in with a question?
Go for it.
Okay, so I'm completely understand all over this. Understand that. My question around is like, what happens when you have like debt? So like in terms of like a HECS debt. So like,
Right.
where's that going and where does that fit into the scheme?
Well, HECS comes out of your pay when
Yeah.
you nominate it normally.
But with that increase, it's like
Your
so
HECS.
the indexation's like at 7% at the moment.
Yeah.
So your
It's going to probably
contributions-
it indexed 7% last year. It's probably going to index to about 4.7, 4.8 this year.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
much lower.
Yeah.
But okay, that's a whole can of worms. So are you asking like, should we
you pay that?
prioritize debt first? Okay.
Dave Ramsey, sort of.
Dave Ramsey.
You get that one?
No.
Me neither.
love his videos. Love his videos. He's pure insane.
When people call in, that's what we should do for
People
for
call in.
Yeah.
Yeah, people
Oh,
could-
is he like,
yeah,
he's like the white guy?
Yeah, he's
yeah.
the guy that people just call in. He's just like, you're a dumbass.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
First-
like, what are you doing
first
with
step,
that?
work 80 hours a week.
Yeah.
You need to pay off your debt first.
You need to pay off your debt. You're going to get 3 jobs.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
Sell your kidney.
I'm not Dave Ramsey. So HECS is a funny one because back when I got my home loan about like 7 years ago, the mortgage broker did not give a stuff about the HECS. They said, do you have any liabilities or loans? I said, yeah, I've got my HECS.
Yeah.
Oh, don't worry about it. Like, I'll put it in here, but don't worry about it.
Yeah.
The game has completely changed for home loans. HECS is now the destroyer of applications, and brokers and everything and banks are now putting so much emphasis on it because the indexation has gone from
insane.
like 1-2% to 7%, and it's like that is an expensive loan.
Yeah.
Now it's not just this free education thing that nobody thought about. Like, oh, I'll pay it off because my boss takes a bit out of my pay every week. I don't need to make extra HECS repayments. Well, now it's just kind of like, man,
There's a
maybe I
point where
should make
your
some.
contributions and the indexing cancel each other out, and
It's-
you're not actually making contributions.
Yes, there was that point.
So
So,
it's like-
depending on the size of your loan
Yeah.
and what your income is and then what the indexation is, it's very possible that your repayments that were taken out of your pay in a whole year have basically been null and voided once indexation hit, because you could be on a lower-ish salary but you studied something that's cost you a high HECS debt.
Yeah.
So now it's kind of like, I don't want to go too deep onto it because
It's just
it gets
crazy
into
how it's
financial
changed.
advice.
Hey?
Yeah.
Like, again, when I finished, like a couple of years ago, it was basically like the financial advice that I got was, don't worry about it. HECS doesn't matter. Like, just pay it back. Like, it's the last thing to worry about. And then now, like, when it's 7% indexing and then whatever you said, 4%, everyone's freaking out about it. And it's like, oh, you should have paid it off earlier.
Can I
It's
just
like,
die with it? Where does it go?
When you die, it disappears.
Really?
Yes.
What happens if you fake your death?
I guess that's the equivalent of dying.
I
So
might come to. Oh, what happens if you declare bankruptcy?
I'm not actually sure.
I might just come to Mexico with you. Actually, no. Cameron will.
So even if you go overseas, it still follows you these days. Because it used to be back in the day that people would fang it overseas
Yeah.
and they'd be like, well, I'm not really Aussie anymore. And they'd be
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, no more debt.
Yeah.
But now it follows you everywhere.
I think that's like an interesting topic around debt though, because like that is a big area for people. Is like a lot of people do take on a lot of debt. Like you think of people like buying a new car, they buy a new house, they have credit card debt, all these different types of debt, like afterpay and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So these are all sort of in that realm of what is good debt, what's bad debt, should
Yes.
you even have debt?
Yeah.
What do you sort of
Yeah,
think?
there is such thing as good debt and bad debt.
Yeah.
Good debt is the thing that's deductible, that's earning some kind of income.
Like an
So-
asset.
Yeah, an asset. So you borrow money to buy an investment property. That's technically good debt because it's
Has
it's
the potential to pay itself off.
yeah, it's an asset that generates income, but the debt, the interest component is deductible on your tax return.
Yeah.
So, but bad debt is usually like a principal place of residence home loan because that's just debt that's not deductible. But back to your original question, where does debt factor into the investing journey? If you have afterpays, if you have credit cards, if you have personal loans, things that attract a really high interest rate, investing is out of the game for you until you clear those.
Just don't touch them. If
Yeah.
if you haven't touched them, don't touch them. And then if you do have them,
Prioritize.
And if you do have prioritize them,
Prioritize it.
prioritize paying
Get it
those
out of the
off.
way.
Yeah. So I had a client come in and he had a lump sum amount of money, and he's just like, I really want to get started investing. I know the benefits of investing. Started going through his stuff. Do you have any like loans or anything like that? Oh yeah, well I've got a personal loan, that I took out for like white goods and stuff.
Yeah.
I said, mate, I reckon that's probably going to be like 14, 15% interest.
Yeah.
He's just like, oh, okay. So he sends me the statement a couple hours later. He's just like, you were bang on. It's 15% interest. I said, mate, even if I was the best investor on earth, I couldn't get you an investment that's returning 15% guaranteed. Yeah. Whereas what that personal loan is, that is a guaranteed 15% return. So if you pay that loan off early, you've just saved 15%.
Yeah.
I can't beat that on investing. So I said, you're taking that lump sum you wanted to invest, and you're paying off that you're paying off that personal loan.
Yeah.
Again, not advice.
No.
That's just
It's how things work.
That's just how things. That's just how you should probably think about. Like when you're thinking about debts and investing and everything like that, the way my mind works is I boil everything down to a common denominator so that I can compare two different things. And to compare, I compare things as a percentage. So if there's an interest on your afterpay at 9%, on average, if you invested in, the stock market, I could get you maybe like 8%.
It's like,
then I'm comparing 8% to 10%. And so that helps you make, I suppose, decisions. But one's negative and one's going in the other direction. Anywhere. So you're not going anywhere. So
that's sort of like if we're like building this out for people, it's like pay off your debts if you can. And then obviously start saving, get that 3 to 6 months that you talked about.
Yeah. For an emergency fund.
For an emergency fund that we talked about on last episode. Yeah. Then start investing. Don't try to jump straight to.
Don't just jump to investing just because you think it's like hot shit.
Because everyone's talking about it.
Because everyone's talking about it. If the rest of your life is an absolute mess,
you're gonna mess yourself up.
You got to park the investing. Otherwise, you'll always be behind the 8 ball.
Yeah.
Do we have to give the same caveat that what we're saying is not financial advice as well too, or it doesn't matter?
I'll just cover it. I think at the end of this episode, I'll just do a disclaimer and then post it over. Yeah. So on the investing front, so last week we discussed like what you can invest in and how to invest. But I think what is most important that people don't normally read because it's not interesting. Like all the books on investing, all the podcasts on investing, nobody really talks about this. But they always talk about the interesting things, which is like, oh, this stock, this ETF, whatever, this platform has these fees. It's just like whatever. But if you're not making investing this intentional discipline, it will not work for you. And that's why, like last week, I don't like those things like Raise and those apps, which are the micro investing apps, which invest when you spend money on your card and they round it up to the nearest dollar, and the roundings invest in the portfolio. Yeah. I don't think that is conducive to a healthy investment outlook. It's thinking about investing as the afterthought and investing as a justification to spend more money on the card because you know that if I spend, I'll also be investing at the same time.
It's creating a bad habit.
Oh, it's bad. Yeah. I think, in my opinion, it's a bad habit, which is why I don't like those micro investing apps. So if you want to start, if you can afford $100 a week, you direct debit that. So you are not making that a manual process for you because the more friction you create in your investing journey, the harder it's going to be for you. So if you want to get off the ground, less friction. Yeah.
It's really interesting, just like that thing of discipline, how it just keeps coming back around. So I haven't thought about it as like when I started my like investing journey, the first thing was like, I need to understand what I'm doing, rather than like, that's kind of second thought. It's like, I need to get my mind right to understand how I should be, disciplined, and before I even make those steps.
Yeah, 100%. I was just thinking, like, I forget the quote, it might be from Warren Buffett, but he sort of talks about how it's harder to keep the money that you have rather than trying to make more money. So do you have like something along those lines?
Yeah, he's talking about stupid people in that quote.
So is there anything in terms of like you feel like that are habits that people should take in terms of like, I don't know, going through their finances and trying to weed out like the Disney Plus subscription or something like that, or like trying to find other ways to sort of reel things back in?
It just comes back to that discipline, doesn't it?
Yeah, discipline is part of it. I think it's probably the most important factor. People living beyond their means is hard to kick the habit. But I think I can force you to peel back on that, because me trying to teach you to not have as many subscriptions and everything like that, or stop eating out as much, or stop eating Uber Eats or whatever. That's okay for me to lecture you, but it's not going to work for anybody, right? If I tell you $100 a week has to go into this investment portfolio, it's just as important as rent. You learn to live within that scope. Naturally, your bank balance and your lifestyle is going to accommodate it, and you will naturally not eat out as much. You will naturally not buy as many drinks when you're out. You'll naturally pre-drink at home and then go out. If you have $100 less, you don't have to worry about the lifestyle, because you know that $100 is going out. It's just as important as rent. Therefore, if I have $100 less, it's not that I have all these subscriptions and I don't want to do anything about them. I will be forced to cancel them, or I'll be forced to eat out less.
Like you've set the goal.
You've set your own goal.
You've set your own goal, and it's like, now figure out how to get there.
Also
That's
too,
exactly.
like,
It's working backwards.
If you've done your savings, your investing, and then bills, and then what's left is your disposable income, then you can decide if you want to spend on subscriptions or your social life. That's where you can decide where you want to.
That's right.
It's when you're not breaking it down and deciding where things should go.
So I don't want to. My role as a financial advisor is not to tell you to eat tuna and rice. Like, I'm not teaching people the FIRE movement like that. What is it? Financially independent, retire early. Like, that is, you're living like a monk in order to somehow retire at like 38 and live off dividends. That's to me, that is not a lifestyle.
You're not living.
That's not, because
you're trying to find the balance.
That's right, and we talk about it's the journey over the destination. So the people of the FIRE movement, I just think, I guess I'm not speaking for them, but my thought process would be they're focusing on the destination, and the journey is just do not have fun, do not live life. But once I get and I can retire, it's just like, okay, well, you trust me, you'll probably get bored of sitting around all day doing nothing, thinking that you're retired. Like, you need purpose with life. So
the biggest thing then, the biggest and best investment is investing in yourself, you would say?
Absolutely. He's done it again. He's done it again, ladies and gentlemen. Follow your dreams, kids.
Shoot for the stars and invest in yourself.
No, but it is. Again, like I said, I don't tell people to live like a pauper. I do want people to have a good life, which is why I'm not telling you to invest $1,000 a week, because then you will have to completely sacrifice your life.
Gambling? Can I still gamble?
If yes. Cool. If that's not advice, but if you've put away your $100 direct debit into investing and you've got money left over, you take it.
Because I'm going to try this new thing. Have you heard of Tim Nacky?
No.
Have you come across him? No.
No.
He's this New Zealander that's living in Canada, right? And he bets 10 cents for every Instagram follower he has.
The guy you just showed me.
So he started off with 1,000 Instagram followers, started with a $100 blackjack bet, and he does that each day. He's been doing it for 83 days, and he just this morning hit $1 million in profit.
Wait, so how is this working? So, what?
So he had 1,000 followers on Instagram.
Bets $1,000.
He bets 10 cents for every Instagram follower. So he has 1,000 followers, and he bet $100. He won that. Overnight, he got like 40 followers. So he had 1,040 Instagram followers. So he did a $104 bet. And then it keeps going and going and going. So now he's at over 1 million followers on Instagram. So he did a $100,000 bet this morning, and he won it on blackjack.
He won it.
Yeah, and he's won multiple $100,000 bets. Now he's a millionaire. So if he did it, why can't I do it? So after this, we will be recording from the Cairns Casino.
I'm glad that's what you've taken from today's episode.
It's not entertainment; it's financial advice.
No, the other way around.
No, not us, him. I haven't heard any disclaimers on his, so.
I love it.
That's great. Yeah, so I think,
So where would you take that from? So we've talked about obviously paying off debt, getting yourself a budget, creating the automations, setting yourself that goal. Is there anything else people should think about as like a next sort of step?
They should probably talk to me.
Probably.
They should probably engage, because I think I've given away
you?
enough gems for free.
Where can they talk to you? Where can they find you?
That's good. I haven't learned how to plug myself.
That's okay. Reach out to the page and we'll.
I work for a company called Fowler's Group here in Cairns.
Yeah.
So it'll be fowlersgroup.com.au, and then my mug will be on the page. Get in touch. My email will be on there.
Benjamin Cole.
That's the one.
Yeah.
So I think maybe I could do another episode where it's for like small business owners for finance.
Yeah.
Oh, please.
Yeah.
Why is that
Please,
important to you,
God.
Brody?
Why is that important to you, Brody? I'm happy to help you, Brody, off camera, man.
You know what's crazy though is like that whole thought of like having the automations come out and things like that. It's so I guess like interesting because like you have to sort of somewhat create that income for yourself in terms of having a wage.
Yes.
And then like living within that wage.
Yes.
And still like thinking about what things are coming out of your business.
The discipline business I can't speak of, but I think like the interesting part where discipline comes in just from personal experience is like you put all your money away and you're left with $800 for the fortnight, and then you get to that last Friday night before the next pay comes in and you've got nothing left and everyone else wants to go out for dinner or drinks. So it's really easy to just transfer from that savings, go around and spend it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think that's where it really does kind of come in.
Yeah.
So what's the advice on that? Just, budget better towards to making sure you actually get.
Well, again, if you're, it's okay if you're running out because as long as you've put your $100 away into the direct debit and you prioritize that, because there's no week that goes by where you go, oh, I don't think I'll pay rent this week because finance is a little tight.
So
you always pay rent.
Yeah.
You will somehow always find the money.
Yeah. Is it like my concept has always been like you always have to have some money away for savings, which is like your emergency fund, and then you have your obviously direct debit that goes into your investing.
Yeah.
Is it a matter of just like you have your emergency fund and then everything else goes into your investing?
Yeah, you don't need to keep building the emergency fund.
Yeah, so once that's built.
You can keep it at, like, if you, again, lifestyle creep,
6 months,
live within your lifestyle. Because if your lifestyle is not lifestyle creep, well, then the emergency fund will cover you always.
So there's still merit in having like a savings account with a lump sum of money in it?
Oh, absolutely.
So
that should just be in a high interest savings account that you don't really need to touch.
So you still have your savings, you still have your direct debit, and then you've got bills, and then your disposable.
Yeah. Basically, it's like have a cash hub, have an account which is like the cash hub.
Yeah.
Then have a separate account which is a high interest savings account.
Yeah.
Then you have your investment platform.
Yeah.
And then direct debits coming out of the cash hub, a direct debit to the investment portfolio.
Yeah.
And then you're also maybe little bits and pieces can also go in the high interest savings account if you want.
And then have the don't download the app for the high interest savings account so you can't quickly transfer money back on a night out.
What a great tip.
Yeah.
Really good idea, mate.
Delete it.
Just get a flip phone. Next time I go out in town, I'm going to bring a flip phone with me.
Yeah.
Save me so much trouble. I'm going to have Cameron's number in it and Mum's number in it, and that's all I need.
That's it. Yeah, well, isn't that, they do that to cut down on the social media use? You have have your crack, like Chris Williamson has a crack phone, which has all the apps on it, and then he has his phone which has like a phone, like a number and maybe email,
and maybe Snake,
and that's it.
I would still find a way.
You still find a way to get the games on there. Yeah. All right, cool.
What a nap.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks again, mate.
If we get the same response, we'll run it back for part 3, but it will be on our Patreon. So
yeah, and by the Patreon we mean just coming into the office and paying me for some freaking advice rather than me just giving it away.
You can like, lose all your clients.
Adios,
thank
bye.
you.
See
Cheerio.
ya. Bye.
Yeah, everything I've said today or will say today is not personal advice. It's general in nature. Go see a financial advisor for any personal financial advice tailored to your needs.